What's up, Michelle?
Hi, Dr. John. How are you?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for taking my call, and thank you for writing that book, How to Build a Non-Anxious Life. It is an amazing book.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm really grateful that you found some usefulness with it. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I did. I brought it to the Total Money Makeover event last year. You signed it, and I've read it quite often since then.
Very cool. That's awesome. Well, how can I help?
Sir. How do I support my children? Alcohol is freely open and available at their dad's house when they go to visitation, when they go to visit him. Two of my children are underage, and it's freely there. It's, hey, let's do Jell-O shots before the kid's birthday party. Hey, let's do, margaritas with dinner or whatever. What else? It's freely available. How do I support my children as they're walking through this?
How old are your kids?
17, 19, and 21.
Gosh, it's so lame. Not you. It's just so lame that an adult needs the approval of a 17-year-old by doing Jell-O shots. It's just so lame. It's embarrassing for adults everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Golly,
I agree.
Dude. And here, you can probably hear it. I get very few things I just get mad about, and I get insta-pissed about this because for 20 years, I worked at the university where that 17-year-old rolls in and is devastated. And is trying to navigate life with parents who it just sucks, man. I hate this for you. All right, so I'm going to be annoying. Oh, let me just back up. What have you tried so far?
Well, there's been several conversations about it. Normally, I'm just trying to support them. To my knowledge, they've never brought anything to me where they've caved. It's just out there and it's available. One of my daughters did come to me around the Father's Day timeframe in 2023, felt like their dad had an alcohol problem.
No, really? Jeez.
I know. Alcohol was never available in the house growing up. They never saw it. It was not readily available. Their grandfathers on their dad's side were both alcoholics. Therefore, that was something that they were sensitive to. We didn't keep alcohol in the house. That's changed since we're divorced and he's gotten remarried, readily available in their house. So I'm just trying to support my daughters, listen to them, talk through the issues that they're facing, and be the voice and the sounding board that they can come to.
So there comes a moment when he stops being your ex-husband and he becomes an adult male who's offering your teen children alcohol.
Yes, sir.
Have you reached out to him?
I have not.
Why not? And that might not be safe. It might just be a war. Like, why haven't you reached out to him and say, if you offer alcohol, well, number one, I think legally, depending on where you are, he might be allowed to. You can have alcohol underage if there's a parent present in restaurants in certain states. And so it just depends. Why haven't you reached out to him yet and said, stop?
I don't think the conversation would go very well.
Okay.
We're co-parents to the children.
Mm-hmm.
We live a good distance apart from one another, so there's very little interaction. He stopped reaching out and asking for the youngest, who is under, the visitation rules as of now. She graduates from high school in 2 weeks. And so there's little interaction in that way. I know he would support his new wife, and she's the main one that I hear the stories about. And I know that I'm just the ex-wife.
You're the mother of these children.
Yes, sir, I am.
Right. You're the one that will be burying the 19-year-old if she succumbs to her dad's peer pressure, like every 19-year-old on the planet does, and has 6 Jell-O shots and decides to drive home.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, I get over-sensationalized about this stuff because I've buried kids. I've had to call their parents and say, your kid's not alive anymore. And so my bell curve is so shifted from, it'll be fine. Statistically speaking, it will probably be fine.
Yeah.
Your daughters are getting a ringside seat to an out-of-control parent and a not out-of-control parent. And I hate that for them. That's the world it's the world they live in, right?
Yes, sir.
And
I hate that as well too.
I know. You didn't draw this up, and you're probably still grieving this.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I told my kids at an early age, your parents are weird, and your dad's unfortunately walked with a lot of teenagers and young adults, and so I have some pretty firm boundaries where other parents who don't have to talk to a parent and say, "Hey, your child's not with us anymore," might have different boundaries. Fine. I would just blow every whistle I have. It's if you offer my daughter alcohol again, I'm going to call who I have to call. And in Ohio, it might not. Maybe calling Child Protective Services does nothing. And maybe it's just a matter of telling your daughters, I'm going to ask y'all to be strong here. Or it's also
we have had that conversation.
Okay, and it's also okay to say, I 100% disagree with what your dad is doing. I think it's wrong, and I think it's not right. Right? Like it's wrong, like legally, and it's not right morally, ethically. You get what I'm saying? And that's different than saying he sucks and he's a piece of crap, because then by proxy, you're telling them that half of them is sucks and is a piece of crap. But you are more than welcome to tell a 17-year-old your dad is not making a good choice.
Those are the conversations that we've had when supporting them.
Good. Good.
Stay strong. You guys are smart. You can do this.
Right.
I'm not saying there's not a bottle of wine at my house. I think it was given as a gift or something like that.
That's totally fine.
It's not something they're presented with it at my house, and I support them in their tough struggles when they go over there.
Yes.
It's not easy. And there's also a 1-year-old and 3-year-old at the house as well too.
Because why not? Right.
Exactly.
Here's the other thing. Here's a fine line, and it's very hard with a 17-year-old. And a 17-year-old, 18, 19-year-old, this is a very mature conversation. Both and is a tough concept for adults to grasp, much less 19-year-olds. Okay. Even though they're technically classified as an adult.
Yeah.
But you have to walk a thin line between saying it's against the law, it's not smart, and it's not safe, and I hate this is happening. I hate your dad and your stepmom is putting you in this position. And if I ever need to come get you, I will come get you, no questions asked.
Yes.
Because I don't.
Know that.
Okay, good.
I'll even drive the almost 3 hours to come.
I'll drive 3 hours. I'll come get you. I'll get an Uber to come get you and take you to a hotel, and I'll come pick you up. I will come get you, and I will not be mad. There's an adult in their life called dad who's offering this to him, right? And so beating up a 17-year-old for doing what dad said is tough, right? It's a tough.
Very.
It just sucks. I won't get mad. I'll be sad. I'll be heartbroken because I want you to be safe, but I love you, and I'm going to come get you. And I'll drive you home, and we'll listen to whatever music you want to hear. Like, they need to know, please don't do this, and I'm never going to leave you isolated. I don't want you ever to be scared to call me. And that's a tricky thing, because for some 18-year-olds, you're like, oh, sweet, cool. And for other 18-year-olds, it's, oh, thank God, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's, whew. Ugh. So, yeah, I don't know the legalities of Dayton. And again, 17, 18, 19, CPS maybe so, Child Protective Services, whatever they're called in your area, might be so overwhelmed. They're like, yeah, we're not going to deal with that. We have too many 7-year-olds being abused right now for our caseloads. Again, I operate in a world where I wish adults would act like adults, and you could pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, our 17-year-old and our 19-year-old are uncomfortable that your new wife keeps offering them Jell-O shots before a child's birthday. Please don't offer the kids alcohol until they're 21. But I also know that there are adults that will then get mad at the 19-year-old. You told your mom, I can't believe, dude. I thought. So I get it. It just stinks. So making sure your daughters know they can always call. There's never a moment they can't call. You will figure out a way to get them out of a situation. If they need a driver, they need whatever. Here's an Uber card. You always have it. And I'm going to do whatever I can to keep my kids safe. And even if I look like a jerk doing it. I hate that you're in this situation, Michelle. I hate it. But it sounds like you're handling it the best you can, the tools you got. and with the emotionally immature husband and new wife. Adults, if you ever find yourself having to try to be cool to impress a teenager, stop. It's embarrassing. You're the adult. You're not supposed to be cool to a 17-year-old or a 19-year-old. My God, quit. You're the adult. Stop. Jeez Louise, you're going to get somebody killed. Thanks for the call, Michelle. I wish I had better, just do this, but this one's messy. Sheesh.